everybody and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a wee bit different from what I've ever done before. Today's video is going to be a very honest video. I feel like I need to open myself up to you guys because a lot of what we see on social media is super positive. All you guys see usually is the highs, the high points, the great days, what I'm doing, everything wonderful and great. But this last week for me has been so stressful. So this video is going to be on my stressful week and the truth about it and the tips on how I manage stress. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about how my week was and what I mean by this whole thing. So I got a new job and I started that Monday. I went for training and it was so fast-paced and so much information all at once. It was basically information overload in a very fast-paced environment. I literally felt, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to call this video an anxiety video because I know there are many people out there that suffer with very severe anxiety with daily life and routines, and so I didn't want to call it that because this was more of a anxious / very stressed because of a new job or a new routine, which I do get all the time anytime I do something new or I have to do a report or I have to do a project. I suffer with this type of feeling. So this week I went through training and I had all the feels, all the negative feels, all the very terrible feels that you don't want to feel. Actually, right now I have those feels because I'm talking about a very personal experience with you guys, so I kind of feel nervous right now, but I do feel like it's important to share this with everybody because during this past week I literally felt like I was crazy. I felt like, why am I getting so upset? Am I weird? Like, what is going on? So I think it's important to share these feelings with others so that they don't feel alone or feel like they're the only ones going through it, because you're not. So I wrote down all the feelings that I had, so I'm going to look down and kind of read them to you guys. So I was nervous, I was extremely tense, and literally I had physical pain through my neck and in my back. I was so tense, it literally hurt to drive home. I kept grabbing at my throat during training. I kept I don't even know. I was just grabbing at my throat. I had a hard time focusing. I knew what I was supposed to do, and then when I would go to do it, my mind went blank because I was freaking out and I felt so overwhelmed. I felt like I could not breathe at some times, and I felt like I had severe butterflies, which I kind of have right now, but the very tense butterflies, and it was just a very awful experience. And I'm going to talk about tips on how we can get through this and what we can do to make these feelings kind of subside or kind of make them better. So tip number 1 would be journaling. So when you're feeling all these emotions or you have problems or anything like that, I think it's really important to come home and write everything down. That way you can actually get it out of your head and on paper, which is actually what I did with my feelings when I'm reading them to you guys. I wrote down everything that I was feeling. So I find that journaling is a really helpful tip when feeling stressed or very anxious. Tip number 2 is support, and I find that it's really important to open up to people and let them know how you're feeling. So gather a list of people that you really trust that you can text or call, like a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, close friend, your mom, your dad, brother, sister, whatever it may be. Find somebody that you can vent to because it helps to vent, not keep everything bottled in. Otherwise, you're going to literally feel like you're going to explode. Step number 3 is self-care. It's really important to take care of yourself, and especially when you're feeling very anxious and stressed out, it's so important to take a step back and really take care of yourself, which is going to lead to step number 4 and 5, which is number 4 is getting plenty of sleep. When we're really stressed or anxious, we get so tired, we get emotionally drained, physically drained, and you need more sleep. So I really highly recommend getting enough sleep throughout the night, because you also, for example, I was waking up with nightmares. Every time I woke up to either use the restroom in the middle of the night, I was literally thinking of what I need to do to succeed, what I need to do, how to do this, how to do that. So you're having a very disturbed sleep cycle, so it's really important to make sure you're getting enough sleep and rest. Number 5 is to take deep breaths, and several times during the past week, I would catch myself just trying to breathe, which at the time, sometimes it really didn't seem to help, but when you're freaking out, really sometimes it is so important to just take a step to the side, walk away, go use the restroom, and just try to focus on your breathing, maybe try and take a few sips of water, and just try to de-stress. I know sometimes it is so hard to do that, but it's much better to maybe step back and take a deep breath rather than go in at full force and have a full-blown panic attack or anything like that. Tip number 7 is facing your fears. A lot of us tend to run away from what we're afraid of or run away from change, whether that's getting on a plane or, you know, going swimming if you're afraid of water, or facing a new job or anything like that. In my case, it was a new job, and it was so easy for me to run back to my comfort zone. But I don't think that you're going to be able to grow or challenge yourself if you don't face the struggle. So even if it takes you 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 times to achieve what you want to achieve, go for it. Try not to run away from your fears. Try to face your fears. During the week, with that being said, I cried many times. I did think about giving up, and I nearly did give up, but I felt like if I gave up, I was almost giving up on moving forward or trying harder and bettering myself. And with that being said, I find that communication is such a huge factor. Like, communicate what you're feeling and what is wrong with what is triggering your anxiety or your stress or all of those negative feels. If you guys would like to see an update of how my week is gonna go this week with starting a new job and doing it on my own with one other person, let me know in the video below. I will post that maybe next Sunday and let you know how I did in managing my stress and anxiety and self-doubt and everything like that. If you do want to see that, let me know down below in the comments. Also, let me know how you liked this video. It was kind of difficult to be so honest, but I do think it's really important to be honest and not have everything be so like sunshine and daisy. As everybody calls me bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but sometimes it's not always the case, and I think that it's really important to be honest and open. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys again very soon.